Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blurred in the land. Welcome back, Legends community. Returning Legends, thank you so much for commenting, liking, and sharing. New Legends, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. Let's get into today's new video. Today's new video is something that honestly, it is celebrity news and something that I've been seeing on the internet since today. I'm like, whoa, like, boy, it seemed like they just been talking, yapping, just talking about it. And I said, look, let me see if y'all want to hear about this. So, Raven-Symoné was on Jason Lee, interview show where she was asked about Orlando Brown. And today we're going to actually react to Raven-Symoné pretty much responding to Orlando Brown and also some other things that you may be surprised by. So I'm going to play the entire piece of some of the interview. Not the whole interview, but just a small smidget of it. So let's get right into it, guys.
I have to be really careful about what I say about Orlando because I'm going to keep it 100. This is a safe space. Orlando is very smart. His tongue quips are so much faster than mine. And I know that. Right? So he can come off the dome like that. He's been doing that since I've known him, and I've known him for a very long time. So my quips come 3 weeks later.
But you can text me for quips.
Hilarious.
I got them.
And
I'm going to quip it up.
I know also that I know his family. I know him. And I knew him before drugs, after drugs, during God, not during God. And he was a comedic genius, and he's still making people laugh. So I would actually
at others' expenses.
Yeah. And I'm secure enough in my bank account and my life that I don't have to dig that deep down to take it. And I also don't have to defend myself about anything because that's his experience. Only way people are going to know it's true or not is if I corroborate. Thank you, Law and Order. You know what I mean? And I plead the fifth, period. But I know that what he's doing, because I saw him on a YouTube thing, was all dating a whole bunch of girls coming up. And when he calls people, hey, Michael Jordan, like when he does that, honey, you think you know Orlando. I worked with him for 7 years, day in, day out. That's nothing.
But weren't you also executive producer of the show?
Si,
so
senor.
in many ways, you also were his boss, and you gave him the platform.
Well, you know, at the beginning, I did not hire him, but we did know each other. And he can have his platform because I have my own. We don't share right now. And that's okay, too.
No, I mean, in terms of, like, this is why when you were a star before, the people who were on That's So Raven, you were a star before them.
No, Orlando was on...
we don't remember that.
If you don't remember Major
Am I supposed
Payne,
to remember? Oh, the movie.
If you don't remember Major Payne...
Yeah, with the Wayans.
With the Wayans?
I remember him.
Orlando was on the same trajectory. I have to give him his props as a comedian, and people will be like, "Oh my God, we're out here." I'm almost 40. I don't have room to steep and dupe that low. I got a wife. I got shit to do. Okay, you can stoop and
a bank account. She says she's proud. Give it up to the bank account. We caught that shit.
Orlando was, if you go back and watch That's So Raven though.
So pretty much Raven-Symoné addressed a lot of different things, all right? She talked about how pretty much smarter that Orlando Brown is, pretty much giving flowers to Orlando Brown. She also mentions that she's been knowing him for 7 years, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure at some point they were really close, pretty much. She then talks about knowing his family. And she also does something that I thought was really witty with Jason Lee. I like that she said, well, you don't remember Major Payne? That was Orlando Brown star role with the Wayans. You know what I'm saying? Not Marlon Wayne, but Damon Wayne and also Orlando Brown. That was a breakout role for him. But also the comedic trajectory. She's right. Like Orlando Brown, if you notice, he's been on YouTube a lot, all right? On all these different platforms. She's like, look, we're not sharing this platform together, but I got my thing with my podcast. I did hear she has a podcast, and he's doing his thing, doing interviews throughout being on YouTube in a comedic way. And she also mentions that her comebacks, you know what I'm saying? She's going to keep up with Orlando, you know what I'm saying? But also she mentions like, look, I ain't worried about what he's saying. This is his experience of who I am, you know what I'm saying? But also I like that she addressed that pretty much that she felt like Orlando was bigger than her. I was like, yo, Raven? Symone, really? You really feel like he was bigger than you? Wow, even with That's So Raven, her show that came out on Disney? That's interesting. That's very interesting. She said, look, I didn't hire him. You know what I'm saying? I knew of him and stuff like that. She said, I knew when he was with God, when he wasn't with God, when he was on drugs, when he wasn't on drugs. I really like that she's not being bitter about it. You know what I'm saying? I really like that. I was like, dang, she's not even bitter. I was like, this is really cool. She's really giving him his flowers, but also maybe showing her appreciation for Orlando Brown. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I gotta admit, this was interesting. I was like, I see why people gravitated towards this interview. And I like that how she checked Jason Lee. I really like that. You know, even though they may not be as close as they used to be, she let it be known like, Jason, you don't remember Major Payne? You don't remember Major Payne? And I gotta admit, that is definitely true. You gotta remember Major Payne. And she believes that he's a comedic legend. So, I think the interview was well executed. I know it wasn't the full interview, but I'm pretty much glad to see that even though they have their own platforms and they're not sharing it, you can still give people their flowers. You know what I'm saying? But it's the hardest working blurred on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, how did you feel about Raven-Symoné addressing Orlando Brown? And my next question for you guys, which one do you feel was a bigger child actor? Orlando Brown or Raven-Symoné? It is the hardest working blurred on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, also sharing so I can get out on the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not hit that bell to stay notified, what are you waiting for? It's a blur from the middle of the map, guys, and I am out, legends.